And I'm live. Here we go. Oh, I should
Yeah,
warn you, just a second. Uh, my headphone Bluetooth adapter is like very precariously connected, so I might have to like unplug it and plug it midstream, just so you're aware.
yeah, no, that's fine because I might have to. What is it called? I have very bad internet right now because I'm literally, actually, unironically, in my mom's basement. So that's where I live.
Okay.
No, because the fee is like, as I said, because I'm going to Malta soon, right? But since I'm back for the holidays, this is where my room is, like in actually my parents' basement. So I'm actually, it's strange, right? I'm gonna start now soon. I'm gonna start hating women and everything, right?
Yeah.
And fucking read a manifesto and everything. I will like, but it's fine because my Jordan Peterson book is right here, so maybe it explains it, right?
You're also just starting to become a dungeon master, so it makes sense that you'd live in a
Mm.
basement and stuff.
Oh yeah, shit. We have to fucking talk about that before we say goodbye, but we will do that. Just remind me later because I do have some updates on that. But we were
Okay.
talking. But you sent me a video from Jonathan Pageau when he was talking about what was the title of the video? Can you remind us?
There are two videos actually. One is about the inversion of the masculine and the feminine symbol, and the other is the difference between uh, symbolism and propaganda.
Okay, so I didn't see because I saw a shorter one that was like 12 minutes, I think, or something like this, when he
Yeah,
was using Wonder Woman as the main example.
yeah,
So yeah, no, it was. Can you just give a quick rundown of what you remember from it? Because I don't know
yeah.
if you what we watched it before, so we
I
can so we're
I
both on the
actually
same
did.
page.
Yeah, well, I actually just rewatched it.
Mm.
So the video is basically uh, listing examples of recent modern movies and painting a picture of a pattern of uh, symbolism in the storytelling. So it will tell about how uh, this certain pattern is happening over and over in movies, where, for example, in Wonder Woman, you have uh, this female hero which actually doesn't embody the traditionally feminine virtues, but embodies the masculine virtues instead. And in the movie, she is propped up by a bunch of men who don't necessarily have any uh, protagonism in the story, and instead are literally just a stepping stone for her to launch herself to the top of a church to bring it to rubble to kill this sniper guy who is in the top of the tower, and then to
Mm.
receive the praise of everyone in the village. And that's one example, right? He gives many examples of like the exact same thing happening again and again, to the point that anyone who can go ahead and watch the video will notice that this is not an isolated event, but something that is happening again and again and is reflective in his argument, right? His point is reflective of uh, conscious narrative choice uh, oriented by a certain ideology, uh, which he doesn't go in detail about in this video, so
No,
I won't bother talking about it either. But we can more or less um, infer what ideology it is, right?
Satanism. No, I was kidding. No, no, no. I agree with you. But would you say it would be fair that he uses a postmodernist lens in order
Yes.
to bring out this criticism?
Yes, I should
We
also
both
say that
agree.
he is very much not. I mean, he is not allied with postmodernists, but he has read Jacques Derrida, and he actually uh, it is actually it's very funny because it Jacques Derrida is who is part of why he managed to bring himself back to Christianity because
That's funny. Yeah, that's really funny actually.
yes, according to him, it was only after he because you can't go back, right? You can't like undo postmodernism. You have to go through it, and that's what he
Yes.
did. He went through it, and he
Mm.
realized that uh, you can deconstruct postmodernism as well, and you can
Mm.
invert it,
Yes.
and you can recover what was lost from it after you do it. And so you can use postmodernism to destroy the postmodernism, essentially. Um,
Yeah, no, that's what's so funny about this video, right? Like, or like, not the mayor. He wasn't like using like, yeah, this is a funny video. That's not what he's doing, obviously. But it was kind of funny that he literally went, "I took your postmodernism to destroy your postmodernism" in that video. It's not like sort of to deconstruct the narrative. It was interesting to see. So I mean, I'm not gonna say like Jonathan Pageau is like he is good. Like I understand why you like him because he's very, he knows his shit, right? You can clearly see that he understands all the icons and like symbols and stuff.
yeah.
So it was a good video, like, and I think like even I can understand if some diehard postmodernists will like get super triggered and not watch it, but I'm pretty sure like because I had some professors, right, that were postmodernists, right, very much in that camp. And
Yeah.
if they saw Jonathan Pageau's videos, I think they would just find it interesting, even though they would disagree with him, they would find it a very interesting, conversation starter, so to say. So
Yes.
I think it's a shame it's so polarized because I think it's a very interesting. He brings up very interesting points,
Yes.
but
I mean,
but
he does
continue.
he does a lot of stuff. Uh, I mean, I don't know how much I should say about it because even like it's not necessarily pertinent to what you were talking about today. But this is not particularly like it's not his best video or anything. I just sent it to you because I thought it was like important to highlight something that I thought was missing in our previous discussions about uh,
Yes.
masculinity and femininity. But I feel like the most interesting videos he's done are probably on the symbolism of zombies and on the
Mm,
symbolism of the center and the margin. Because most of like his analysis comes from the center and the margin because like those are fundamental like postmodern categories,
mm,
but they have like incredible utility once you realize how deep they go. And he goes like back to the Bible and shows exactly uh, how the center is used and the margin is used and what is the role of each. And I think I might have mentioned to you this before, but you know, at the walls of paradise, at the gates, there are cherubs, which are essentially
yes.
monsters because they have four heads, right? One human, one lion. I think it's one eagle and one snake, something like that.
Or one.
Uh,
It's either an ox and a snake, the last
yes,
one. But
yes,
yes, we both know what you're talking about.
yes. And so they're hybrids, and hybrids are monsters by definition.
Mm,
uh, because they are the adjoining of different categories. And of course, you'd put something in the border that is neither one thing nor another, but both, because that's what a
mm,
border is. It's a place which joins two different places together. Um, and so he shows that on the Bible. He also, for example, shows the same on church architecture, right? You put the gargoyles at the outside of the church, and they are essentially ugly creatures, right? They are guardians, they are protectors, and they're meant to be able to keep what is even worse than them outside, so that as you approach the center of the church, uh, things go from mundane to holy. And so, there's the
yes.
I mean, I don't remember the actual names for the places in the church, but you can imagine like concentric circles which go from, you know, the outside world, and then there's the border in which there is the guardian, and then inside there is the place where you don't have to even be faithful necessarily to enter, and then there's the place where only the faithful can enter, and then only the ones who are without sin, uh, which means their sins have been forgiven because there isn't really someone who is without sin. And then there's the priest, and then the priest holds the cup, and the cup contains the blood of the Son of Man, right? The Son of God. And so
Yeah.
they are concentric circles showing, uh, how do I put it? Uh, Levels of uh, holiness, of course. Uh, and so he uses the center and the margin to analyze like so many things in the Bible that is actually kind of insane, right? Even like the most obscure passages, like passages which say that you can't have like clothing which is made from both like animal skin and linen, for example, which is like the notion
Mm.
that you can't mix plants and animals, and he shows exactly how it makes perfect sense from a symbolic perspective. And I mean, it's just like very it, it it like sort of makes like those atheistic arguments which make fun of those passages in the Bible which seem arbitrary and senseless. um I mean, for someone who used to be an atheist and like buy that shit so much, seeing like such a deep insight into those passages which seemed before to be so,
For the
you know
victory.
yes, they seem so senseless, and now they make sense to you, and I feel like that's so cool. So yeah,
Yeah.
like those, I feel like those videos are way cooler than that, and this is like more topical, but yeah.
No, no, I will watch one of those videos because it does sound interesting. But to get back to this, the thing here's the thing, right? And I think honestly, he would probably agree with me if he stepped into the room right now as you spoke. The
Yes, he
thing
agrees
is
with
that,
everyone.
yeah, no, the thing is that I can use postmodernism right now to sort of angle his argument and make an anti-argument. And I propose that I can show that Wonder Woman in that movie actually incorporates the divine femininity. Let
Mm,
me explain what I mean. Because do we both agree that one part, there are many parts to divine femininity and divine masculinity, of course, but one of the points of divine femininity is sort of what Jordan Peterson says, right? That you sort of let your child go into the world, and then just hopefully you gave him all the resources he had to survive. But if he dies and gets judged and gets tortured, you have to let him do it, and then you show that to the world,
yeah.
right? And in Wonder Woman, if we look at it right, because the scene he's talking about with the church and everything, I don't know, have you seen the movie actually?
No.
Okay, so in that scene, that happens pretty early in the movie, right? When she kind of guards those guys under her and stuff. And then the other sniper she has with her, because there are two, as it says, there's a sniper in the church tower, and then there's a sniper on the ground, and he has PTSD, I think, if I remember correctly. So he can't kill anyone yet because he's too scared to do it. So she shields them at the start when they're not ready. So she shields the guy who's not ready to take the shot. Um, so you see, I can still do that. Say that, oh, she shields him right now because he's not ready to face the world, right, to take that shot.
Mm,
Now, if we look at the ending of the film, then this is why it feels bad that he didn't bring this up at all, because the thing is, like, there's this love story with Chris Pine's character, right? And Wonder Woman. That's like the main love story in the film. And they fall in love and everything. And then in the end of the film, when she meets the god of war, or one of the gods of wars, the nemesis, right? Uh, they have this big fight and everything. And then he has some sort of there's some gas or something that they're developing in this film that will like, some super strong fucking explosive gas or something like that. So in the end of the film, Diana can't, and Diana is Wonder Woman's name, right?
Yeah.
Diana can't destroy the gas for some reason. I don't remember why, because I think she has to fight the god of war, or she's too weak after the fight. And then Chris Pine says, "No, I need to take this gas and blow it up. Like I had to go up in the sky and blow it up, and I have to do it. I have to like kill myself to do it, right?" And she says she doesn't want to let him go because he has. There's another scene like that earlier in the film, and she doesn't let him do that. But
Mm-hmm.
then he said, "No, I have to do this. I have to. You need to have. You need to let me go, and you need me. You need to let me be a hero, essentially, like and do this." So then
Mm-hmm.
he says like that he loves her, and then he goes on the plane and he goes up in the sky, and this is it's such a fucking good scene. That's why I have a soft spot for that film because there's a scene where he like is about to blow himself up, and he sort of just looks out of the window and then sees the like the heavens, literally like you see the skies and everything, and then he kills himself, and then Diana sees him blow up in the sky. So
Mm-hmm.
what I'm getting at, and then this is what Jonathan Pageau says that she kind of, if I'm not mistaken, goes through this rubbled city and it's like a dawn and everything. That he's right there. But then my point here is that I can just make the argument that that's also divine femininity because she now lets Chris Pine sacrifice himself. She lets him die and like go out and do his thing and not being over consuming mother because she's stronger than Chris Pine, even when she's a little weaker. She could have just, beaten him to a pulp and then done it herself, and she wouldn't have died from the explosion because she's Wonder Woman, right? But
Mm-hmm.
she lets him do it. She lets him take the sacrifice to save, like, it's not the world in that film, which is also probably why it's a good film because you don't scale it up too much. It's more like I think like what is it, France would get destroyed if he
Oh
doesn't do
no,
this like he doesn't.
not
Yeah,
France.
no, this was when France was good, by the way. This was when France was actually kind of based.
I'm
So,
also just
yeah,
joking. I don't have anything
yeah,
against
yeah,
France.
yeah, yeah. No, no, but I was joking too. But anyway, the point here being that that this is the major criticism I have against Jonathan Pageau's claims that
Yeah, I
I can
mean,
just do
I I,
that,
I understand
work
your
harder.
criticism, but I think it's unfair mostly because
Okay.
it's based on this one video, right? And in
Yes.
this one video, him himself acknowledges, for example, on the movie Logan, he has like a longer video on Logan, like an
Mm.
hour long. Actually, I don't remember how long it
Oh,
is. Yeah, but it's
that's
just on
interesting.
yeah, but it's just on Logan, and there he doesn't even mention like the obvious like the female replacing the male symbolism because uh it isn't the core of the movie, right? He is not saying this is the only symbolism that is in this movie. He never does that, right? He's just pointing out that there is a pattern there and he's recognizing it and then he's linking it to a certain movement in the culture. So there's that, but there's also like I have to ask you because I feel like what you said doesn't make much sense, but I haven't like watched the movie to know. So you said first that Wonder Woman couldn't get rid of the gas, but then you said, "Oh, she could. She just chose not to." So which is it?
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. It's good you pointed that out because I just here's the thing. Someone could literally correct me right now, and I would take the biggest, fattest L, and I acknowledge that. I just remember that for some reason it's either because that's what I realized that because I haven't watched it too in a long time. I used to remember those plot points, right?
Mm-hmm.
What I do remember is that it's either that she's not physically capable of going on the plane because she's too weak, or it's because it's like what I said later, right? That she can do it, but she has to let him sacrifice himself because that is her showing character growth. Or it is that she has to fight the god of war. I
Okay,
don't remember which of the three it is. I just remember that it is
because
an active choice she makes. It's a choice she makes to let him sacrifice himself. I do remember that much.
yeah, but
I
like
don't remember what reason.
if she can save uh, him without sacrificing anything, then that's not a really good look. She's not a superhero then, right? Because she's not preventing a preventable death.
No,
If
no, I
she
mean,
can't,
yeah, of course. Then I take an L. Of course, I
yeah,
take an L. Like
if
because just to clarify here, the just exactly like if it is that, for example, let's say that she hasn't, as you said, like let's say that she's like actually incapacitated. Like if I rewatch it and she's like missing two arms or something that hasn't regrown yet or something, and she can't stop him from doing it, and like she has like, and he just can do it without sacrificing anything, right? And
yeah,
like there's no sacrifice. Then yeah, I agree. My point is, I just took a fat L. But from what I remember, it is an active choice that she could do it herself. She could save him, but she realizes that no, he has to, this is him, that he makes this choice of self sacrifice, and I have to let him do it, even though I could save him. That's what I
mm-hmm.
remember. But as I said, I'm ready to take a big fat L on that one. Then I
Yeah,
just take it, okay?
yeah. And I mean, like I said, uh, you're not wrong in highlighting that it's not just obviously propaganda because it never is. Um, and like I said, Jonathan Pageau will say himself that uh, symbolism is inevitable, and it's almost impossible to just have one aspect of something show up. Like you will inevitably like fill in the gaps with stuff that you're not necessarily even trying to. Um, but it's still, I could go about how the guy dying for the woman to succeed is still a replacement, right? Uh, Even if you say, well, he is being traditionally masculine and she's being like a traditionally feminine character because she's letting the guy uh, go into the world, like that's the thing, right? He's not her child. Like, it is not exactly a feminine virtue to let someone die because they want to die. Um, it's a stretch to compare a mother letting her child go into the world with a pseudo lover letting this guy kill himself to save other people. Like, yeah, yeah, it's not the same thing exactly either.
I mean, I sort of see where you're going at, but the problem when we start going down that route, I'm not I'm not accusing you of accusing you of trying us to go down that route, but the problem is that then you can sort of make the same argument against Jonathan's claims, right? Because then you can say, hey, like it's just a guy in a building, Jonathan. It's just a sniper in a building. Why are you mad, bro? My point here is that that's the problem. You get to that point. So it's a symbolism doesn't really. And also, to be fair, now Jonathan Pageau dabbed on both you and me. I just realized that what I'm about to say is that he said, what you said, that symbolism is inevitable. Inevitable. That's how you
In
pronounce it, right? Inevitable.
inevitable. In
Inevitable.
in
Inevitable.
in
Inevitable. You know the fucking word, okay? The
inevitable.
fucking word. The
Yeah,
word, okay?
I
The
had the
word.
same
The in
thing.
word.
I had the same thing with the word telekinetic because I kept pronouncing it telekinetic, and I couldn't remove like one like, extra c from the word, no matter how hard I tried. But yeah, so don't worry, I get it.
dude, dude, Menso Beranzan, man. Menso Beranzan.
Oh yes, Menzo Baranzan.
Bro, when I saw that word, one of the things I was looking forward to was, I know it is a fucking tangent, it's so tangential, nothing to do with anything. But when I saw that word in Baldur's Gate 3, I'm like, I can't wait to hear someone pronounce it. And then the fucking Vitara just pronounces it flawlessly. She's like, oh yeah, you have never been to Mensa Beranza. And I was like, Jesus Christ, she yes. Can you imagine like the fucking voice actress going into work and seeing, oh yeah, you have to pronounce this thing now today. And she is like fucking crying in her car, just putting her hand against the fucking windshield, like
Voice
fucking
actors are amazing,
screaming.
dude. Like they're fucking so amazing. I
Yeah,
don't
I
get
know, but
how
still.
they do the shit that they do because I've been watching Critical Role and they're like a D&D podcast, like very
Yeah,
famous.
I heard about that.
Yeah, and all of the players are like voice actors, right? And so
Mm.
you hear them like get into character, and like the DM has like 20 voices that he does, and he mimics the sound of everything, basically birds, horses walking, everything. It's really fucking impressive.
Yeah. No, but anyway, as Jonathan Pageau said, inevitable. Whatever the word. He says the word is, the symbolism is, inevitable, inevitable. And this is I fucking hate this. I
I
can't
know.
fucking. I need to like
Yeah,
inevitable,
just practice in
inevitable,
front of the mirror.
inevitable. Yeah, exactly right.
You almost had it there. Inevitable.
Inevitable,
Yes,
right?
vitable,
In in
inevitable.
inevitable,
Yes,
inevitable. So
exactly.
yes, we finally got over the hurdle after 10 minutes, or I did. Inevitable. The symbolism is inevitable,
It's fine,
and
dude. It's fine. We can go. We can.
yeah,
I
yeah,
understand
but
what word you're trying to say, and that's what matters.
yes, but yes. So he says that right, that it's inevitable, and what happens is that the symbolism is this. So what I'm trying to get at here is that he would probably say that, yeah, not everything will map on 100 to 100% all the time, which is why I'm saying that at the end of it, you have to go back to fucking modernism a la Peterson, right?
Hmm.
That how I see that he explains modernism. I don't. He will never own modernism. That he's a modernist, but whatever,
He
right?
isn't. Oh, Jordan Peterson, you're saying?
Yes,
Okay.
but it's what I'm getting at is that he says that you have a field, and postmodernists will say, "Oh yeah, you can walk through this field however you want, so it doesn't matter. Only thing that matters is power." Where someone who's functional will say, "No, no, no. There's only a few ways to walk this field that is functional." So that's what I rely back on when I look at Wonder Woman and I listen to Jonathan Pageau's video, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you still okay? You're still there. I thought I was breaking up.
No.
And the thing is that when we look at Wonder Woman, it is still the thing why I don't buy that. The symbolism is interesting. Don't get me wrong, but the reason I don't buy it is because for it to be like this, message that like women can do everything, women will replace men, women can do it better than men. For that to have worked, what would have happened in the end of that film wouldn't have been that Chris Pine gets to sacrifice himself. What would have happened is that Wonder Woman would have said, "No, I can do this." That she would have pushed Chris Pine to the side, got into the plane, and then blown it up, and then jumped out and been unscathed and be like, "Huh, look at me. I can do this better than you." Then I would have bought Jonathan Pageau's Hook, Line, and Sinker. Like, yes, this is a perfect example of
At that
this.
point, it wouldn't be necessary to have Jonathan Pageau explaining anything because it would be obvious.
Redundant, yes, it would be so fucking redundant, hey. Like,
Yes.
the
Uh,
only thing you all right, anyway, continue that because I was just thinking, like, the only thing that would have made it more fucking obvious would have been if they brought up that god awful woman that I always forget her name. It's Judy something. The fucking postmodernist fucking gender writer. They just had to have brought her out,
yeah, you're like
and it
you're
would have been
like
perfect.
you're like the judge who says, oh, you didn't find the guy on top of the body with blood all over his shirt, with his hand on the fucking murder weapon, with like a camera who showed the
Exactly
whole
right.
thing, and there's like a DNA evidence, and there's like 20 witnesses. Well, I guess he's innocent then. It's like that's how you sound to me right now, because you're literally saying, well, you don't have enough proof to convince.
Oh, okay, misunderstood my point, Neil. You misunderstood my point. I think
No,
I
I
was making a
didn't.
joke.
Yeah, I
No, no, you
didn't.
did. No, no,
Because
you.
you're saying that
No, no, I
you can't
agree. No, no,
buy
I agree with you. No, I agree
you
with you.
how
I think no,
I don't
no,
think you do.
no, 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 no. I think something just got lost in not translation, but something. Let me just reinstate, okay? Then you can respond. What
Okay.
I'm saying is this: that yes, if that would have happened in the film, Jonathan Pageau would have been redundant. He wouldn't really have to point it out. Although it would be interesting to see him dunk on a shitty film, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. So just on that point, we do agree. My point is that the reason that I don't buy that the whole film is the symbolism that he tries to bring out is because it didn't end that way. It could have ended in
Yes,
another
exactly. That's what
slightly
I'm
different way,
saying,
and we still
Geiger.
have
That's what I'm
used
saying.
the same
You're
symbolism.
asking for so much proof when it is obviously not necessary. That's what I'm saying.
No,
You're
but I've
you're
always like
asking
that.
for, like, well, I just gave you the example of the judge
Yes, yes, yes,
asking
yes.
for 20 witnesses and the DNA and the camera and uh, being found in the murder scene and everything. It's like sometimes you don't need that much to know that someone's guilty.
Can I ask you a clarifying question? Just a clarifying question here.
Okay?
Uh, would you say that both Jonathan Pageau's view of the film, right? That it's sorry now, like inevitable. I was kidding with that word, by the way. That the thing is about that it's a film about replacing men. It's one that's his interpretation, and my interpretation is that no, you could also see it. Or I mean, I should be fair. It might be fair to say that Jonathan Pageau says that it could mean this. And I say, hey, it could also be a metaphor for divine femininity.
I
Which
feel
of
like
are you saying, and this is the question, don't worry. Are you then could we then both agree that, or would you say that both mine and his interpretation in a vacuum where there are no, where the fucking director can't talk to us, in a vacuum, that both our interpretations of the film are valid?
uh
Go.
no, because you're
Okay, tell
citing
me why.
one moment versus several, and the math doesn't add up. If
But
there were
then you
several
also need.
moments where you
Okay,
could highlight divine femininity
okay, okay,
and
okay.
then trace a
Okay.
counter pattern which was of equal weight and quantity, let's say, then you could say yes. But I don't think that it's comparable to show one example, which I said it's a stretch, but I guess you don't think so.
No.
um and then compare it to like the several that he did. And I should also, you watch the video, of course, so it's not just
Yes.
about Wonder Woman. He
No,
sent
no, he was talking about other films as well. Like, but
yes,
he was the belt
several
was Wonder
movies.
Woman.
No,
Correct me if
it's
I'm wrong. The
I
belt
mean
was Wonder Woman. Right?
the thumbnail was Wonder Woman, but he
Uh,
mentioned several videos, and then
yeah,
he
but the
doesn't.
belt.
There isn't a bulk. Like if you put Wonder Woman, maybe it's like the most prominent, but if you sum every other movie, it's going to be more about, like, it's not like it's half Wonder Woman. It's not even that. It's maybe 30% Wonder Woman. And so that there isn't a point to talk about it like it's the only thing there. Um,
Okay,
the,
I mean, I when I watched it, that's the feeling I got. But maybe if I rewatch it, he talked about other films
yes, he
like
talks
more
about
than Wonder Woman.
Logan and Mad Max Fury Road, and he shows Star Trek and uh, Moana, and yeah, there's a bunch of it. I do think that the hour-long video has more, and
Mm,
I think he also maybe I didn't say this, but I thought about it, which is in the hour-long video he does mention, I think, the other sniper, and like he goes a bit deeper into it, um, to show, yeah, it's not just that one scene that he highlights, but this is like a 12-minute video talking about several movies and trying to show a pattern that spans across several movies. Because he's not trying to say Wonder Woman is feminist. Like, he doesn't have to. It's obviously feminist. Uh, his point is this: there is um, something which is happening several
okay, I see
times,
what you're saying.
and it happening several times is indication that it is not a coincidence. And so, since there's a pattern here, where does it come from? And if it's highlighted, then everyone can see that it's happening and take note of it and then it helps against the denial that there is like a clear uh narrative. Like that's the best way to describe it, right? There is a clear narrative. There is like a transformation of traditional values into something else, and there's like a direction to where things are going, and you can trace that by showing the difference in like the cultural artifacts of our time, which are movies, right? um, and show, well, if this movie was made like 20 years ago, this wouldn't have happened at all, right? um, and well, is this like a fashions thing, or is there actually a movement here? Are things moving a certain direction, and what's causing it? And then uh, this is why it's important, right? To highlight it, to notice it, and to prevent people from saying, well, it's it's just an artistic choice or something like that.
Yeah, but I I I hear what you're saying, but there is how do I say this? The thing that I feel like you're not taking into account here is that sure I could say, oh yeah, these are the examples in Wonder Woman which shows that that women are replacing men. Sure, but I can just it's almost like how to say, one of those clip, I think they're called clip chimps, when people take things out of context, right?
Hmm.
And what I'm getting at here is that even if, let's say, I granted you all of like Pageau's points, right, that the majority of the examples in Wonder Woman, like if I pick them out, are women replacing men,
Hmm.
then my counter to that will just be that sure, let's say I grant that, but in the end, it shows that Diana's biggest hurdle to overcome is not, it's that she has to save everyone. And then the biggest hurdle then becomes that the one she wants to save the most, she has to let die. She has to let him die. That's what was going to be my thing. And that shows the divine femininity. So the whole thing can still have more examples of women replacing men. But if the message of the film and the climax of the film is counter to that to show that no, this is the way to go, then that becomes a stronger argument for me. For example, I mean, another example would be like if you have a film, let's say it's like
I
a,
mean, I agree with
like
that,
let's say,
just so you know.
yeah, okay. So that's what I'm getting at here.
Yeah, no,
That
I mean, I can't argue because I haven't watched the movie, right? So I don't know.
yes,
Maybe that is the message of the movie. I have no idea.
and as I said, I could be wrong too. As I said, I could take a fat L if either of us look now, and you can see like Diana's fucking, I don't know, like fucking in chains or something, and like fucking strapped to a chair, and she can't literally stop the guy. Then yes, I take the L. Like I could be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's the thing that she lets him do it. That's why I just, I don't buy Pageau's using that. Now, if he wants to use, if he had said, okay, we're just going to look at symbols here, the overarching message of the movie is something else. Then I'll be like, yeah, fuck me, you were right. Like, then sure, I
I don't
could buy
think
that.
he was trying to point to the overall message of the movie being that necessarily. Because I feel
But I
like
got so much, but I
his
could be wrong.
his
Continue.
content is not about the obvious, right? He points out what is subtle. Uh, he could point out what is obvious. I can, if you want. You know, she is literally stronger than men,
Yes.
right? She's a warrior. She's
Mm-hmm.
strong. She's a leader.
Yeah, she's Wonder Woman.
Yeah, she's wonder, not so much woman, right? Obviously.
But, yeah,
Uh,
but okay, continue. Because I feel like you're going somewhere, so
yeah,
go on.
she is the embodiment of male virtues, despite being a
I mean,
woman.
yeah, but this is like, first of all, this is like the first, her first film, so you can't just have her jump to the end, right? Because
No,
Batman Begins never did that,
but will she
Batman,
not be
you have to show
strong
growth.
warrior and a leader by the end? Is that what you're getting at?
I mean, at the end of Wonder Woman, the Wonder Woman film, what I remember from it is that at the start she's very naive, but she's also like what's so ironic about it is that she is one of these fucking almost stereotypes of an upbeat feminist, right? Like, a stereotype, like, the fucking almost like I wouldn't say go so far as a caricature. She's not, but she's a stereotype, sure. She's very naive, like, oh, I'm stronger than everyone, like I'm stronger than all men. She's like that in the start, right? And then she's very naive, like, oh yeah, all men have to do is stop fighting. Like those are the kind of arguments she has, like in the start of the film. And then in the end of the film, as I said, one, she lets Chris Pine die, and two, she realizes that war is something human within us, or something like this. I don't. It is a pretty neat thing how she explains war in that film. My point here being that for the majority of the film, she will obviously
Oh,
be a very like how would I say not the feminine thing or whatever you want to say. She will start out as something else and then become something else throughout the series of films, right? She won't just be that at the end of the film. She might start to do that at the end of the first film. Similarly, how Batman in Christopher Nolan's series, you could probably make an argument that it doesn't become Batman until the fucking end of the final act of The Dark Knight Rises.
I mean,
That's my point. Oh,
yeah, I mean, I just was laughing at your example because, oh, she starts the movie thinking that only men can make mistakes, and then she ends noticing that women can make mistakes too. Wow, she's enlightened now, That's such a progression. It's like, you don't get brownie points for that. It's not,
yeah, but I could say the same thing about Batman in
it's
Batman
fine.
Begins.
Go ahead and say it. That's not my point. My point is, uh, if you've arrived by the end at a place where you should have been from the start, you're not that great.
That's everyone. It's like that. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but she's supposed to be better than everyone. She's a hero,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, but it's a progression to where she becomes a hero.
No,
Similarly as
it's a
Batman.
progression to where she becomes not retarded by noticing that women also make mistakes,
That's
right?
I think that's not really what I was trying to say when I said that comment. But what I meant more is that we could focus on that one. But the bigger point to me, obviously, is that she lets the guy sacrifice himself for the greater
Yeah,
good,
that's
and she
fine.
doesn't have to do everything.
But my point, which brought you to this, is she's still embodying male virtues, right? And there is a reason why John Pageau doesn't bother talking about this. It's because it's obvious. Like, this is not. It doesn't take Einstein to realize this.
But what male virtues does she embody? What do you mean?
She's
I feel I don't understand
warrior.
what you mean.
She's strong and she's a leader.
Yes, she's Wonder Woman,
Yeah,
but then you
she
would have a
is.
but then you have a problem with the character itself. You don't have a problem with the message. If you have a problem with the character itself, that's fine. That's fine. People probably hate Batman too, even though I love him. Like, so it's fine if you have a problem with the character. That's fine. But that's her literal character, right? That's how she's written.
I don't have a problem either way. I'm pointing out that this is not a feminine hero. It's a male
Okay,
hero
that's what you mean. Okay. That's what
wearing
you
a
mean. Okay,
female
cool.
body. That's what it is. It's
Yeah, I
like there
mean,
there are feminine heroes. They're just
hmm.
not warriors and leaders and strong. They're beautiful. They're graceful. They're disarming. That's the feminine hero.
I mean,
You could say, "Oh, Wonder
is it
Woman
that
is
she's
beautiful," and that's fine, but that's not what she uses to, you know.
clarifying question. I just need a clarifying question here. Is it that she uses more her fists to fight and more like weapons to fight? Is that a part of it? Because
Yes,
the
of
thing
course, yes.
that's what you mean. Okay, go on.
I mean, there isn't much more that needs to be said,
Okay,
right?
okay. No. What I'm gonna say here, though, as a rebuttal to the point, is that sure I could give you that, but the issue is that Jonathan Pageau also brings up Galadriel, or actually, how do you can I say
Yeah.
as a Portuguese speaker, or sorry, I'm a Brazilian speaker because Portuguese is not the name of your language. I know that. I'm sorry for saying that.
No, that's
In
right.
Brazil, in Brazil,
I guess you're
Brazil
joking, but yes, it's Portuguese.
I was actually joking because more Brazilians speak Portuguese than Portuguese people speak Portuguese. That was
That's
my joke.
right.
I failed with it. But
Yeah, that's
anyway,
fine.
when you saw Galadriel or Galadriel, like the first time you saw it written out, how did you pronounce it?
It's Galadriel.
I'm actually curious.
Galadriel.
Okay, that's how you pronounce it. That's how you pronounce it, yeah. No, because how I would pronounce it is like Galadriel, but then it's like Galadriel. That's how I say it. Are you laughing? You also sounded kind of ridiculous. Like it's always so funny, like because you also sounded ridiculous when you said it like in Portuguese. But
Yeah, I
okay,
mean, that's fine. You can laugh at me, but I'll laugh at you because I think it's funny. Because
yeah,
the way that you basically change the word by the end, like drill, like you took like a half a second pause in the middle, and then it's like you're doing an accent, you know?
yeah, because I said it as I would have said it in Swedish,
Okay,
Galadriel.
yeah. It's
But
like you're like talking down at gala, and then you're lifting your mouth to say driel. It sounds very weird to me. I know. I'm
yeah,
guessing for Swedish people, this is normal.
yeah, like Brazilian man learns about other languages. More news at 5.
Dude,
But I was
let
gonna
me let me
say
laugh when I can laugh at something. I like laughing.
no. Okay, that's true. I heard what happened in Baldur's Gate 3 with that fucking honor mode that I'm also gonna experience very soon. So
Yes.
I
Good luck.
understand.
Good luck.
But anyway, what I was gonna say is that the things you brought up about this is a masculine hero, I could have brought that up with Galadriel too.
Hmm.
But Pageau says that this is a feminine hero, and then it's
Yes.
like okay, okay, now you need to pick one because now
Why?
you lost me. You have to pick one. Like okay, I'm not saying you. Sorry, I'm not saying you Neo specifically.
No, I know,
I
but
was saying more
why? Because
Pageau
I agree with him.
because
So go ahead.
yeah, because I can because they both Galadriel is also a leader. She's also extremely fucking powerful. She could 360 no scope Sauron at the end of Lord of the Rings. So I can just use these virtues and put them on Galadriel, but then people would say, no, she's a feminine here actually, but Wonder Woman is a masculine. Then I'm like, okay, what are we doing here?
Uh,
What
I
is the
feel
difference?
like the problem is that uh,
Well,
I can't speak about power levels in Lord of the Rings because I don't have enough. I mean, I've read the Silmarillion, but I haven't actually read Lord of the Rings, which makes me, I'm a special breed, I guess. But
okay, Gollum is the powerful one in terms of raw force. Now you know Gollum.
yes, he's very strong. You can tell by his very big eyes. So the problem is that Galadriel doesn't actually kill Sauron, right?
No,
That's not her role in the story. And
no,
so it isn't so much about what they could potentially do necessarily. If it's the case that she could no scope Sauron, I'm going by your word here because I don't know. But what
that
she
was
does
actually good that you brought that up because
is,
now I need to clarify. That was me being half funny. She
I
she
know. I
could
mean, I
if
guessed
they
as
go
much.
yeah, but just let me clarify. If they met in a duel, just him and her, she would win. But it was like army against army, then it would then I would need to look into it. But if it's just her and him in a single duel, Galadriel wins. Go
So
on.
first, I don't think um, it's always necessarily black and white as to, because are you gonna ask me, oh, is the Virgin Mary, the Mother of God, not a leader? And I'm like, obviously she's a leader. She needs to be. She's literally,
Mm,
um, she's literally above all the angels. Like how is that not a leader, right? She's like at the
mm.
top of the top of the top. She's like the highest human possible. Uh, Even higher than the saints. So of course, has to be right. But we needed to talk about levels, right? So you can say, well, the queen has more power than a male peasant, But
Yes.
why are you comparing the queen with a male peasant instead of comparing her to the king? That's the level that's appropriate, right? Uh, and so you shouldn't be talking about Galadriel as uh, as compared to anyone who isn't as powerful as her or at the same level. You should be comparing her to someone who is as strong as her, but male,
Mm.
and then see, well, does she actually uh, use her power to submit someone of the other sex? And then you can say, yeah, no, she's embodying a masculine virtue. Uh, but like I said, her role in the story is not that, right? And this is why Jonathan Pageau highlights her as a feminine hero. It's because she's using her beauty and her grace to disarm men, uh, and those are traditionally feminine uh, powers. Uh, and even when she's threatening people with her power, I don't remember exactly the words she said, but it's something like as terrifying as the seas.
Mm.
And I mean, the sea is feminine, has always been feminine, and so even that is like a feminine symbolism happening there. So because it's the primordial chaos, right, which is feminine,
Yes.
uh, and you know there are things which can like go either way, like the earth, for example, can be either female or male. It depends on what is the pair, because if the earth is paired with the sky or the heavens, then the heavens is masculine and the earth is feminine. But if the earth is paired with the sea, then the earth is masculine and the sea is feminine. So it depends on the pair, but the seas are always going to be feminine. So when she's threatening by talking about the seas and the power of the seas, she's tapping into the feminine symbol to show her strength, let's say, which is not a masculine strength. So,
Yeah.
I
Okay.
mean,
So if I understand correctly here,
yeah,
is that Wonder Woman uses her power of her body, like I'm talking about, fucking these guns, right?
yeah,
When I say guns, I mean muscles.
I know, I understood.
But some people might be like, "What do you mean she uses revolvers?"
Yeah,
You
she
know?
doesn't have
But
a
obviously,
gun. What is she talking about? She
oh man,
doesn't
you
use
just won,
firearms.
dude. I just won the debate. If she had been a male, no, no, you just won, I guess, or some one of us just won. I just don't know who, but I mean, if she had a fucking gun, she would obviously incorporate the male model, and doesn't have a gun, she doesn't incorporate the male model. So I win. She's a
Mm,
feminine because she doesn't use a gun.
Actually,
There you go.
guns are actually feminine. Soldiers actually name their guns and they name them girl names, so they're feminine. I'm not sure why I'm doing that voice actually.
Dude, dude,
I'm
dude.
annoyed at
This is
myself.
so. You know what's fucking great? I once, in my class on postmodernism, I actually wrote about a female hero, that a female gunslinger in a Stephen King book. So I actually used this thing about, I could actually use all the symbolism because, of the fucking phallus symbol that is the fucking revolver. The things like that.
What?
I actually got a really good grade. I got like an A on that essay. It was great.
I guess you used the right words, but I'm not sure what dicks you've been seeing, but they don't look like revolvers to me.
It's a symbol of the phallus. That's what one of my arguments in the essay was. It wasn't the
So,
bulk of the argument, but it's one of the
are
arguments.
your balls like handle shaped? How do you like? I get the
Yeah, I was like,
barrel.
is he being fucking
I,
retarded
I
now?
get
How
the
does
I
he not
get
see that
I get
the
the barrel,
symbol?
but like you can't say something's phallic because it has like one phallic part. It's like,
That's how it works,
well,
dude. I
is
got an
that
A. I got an A. You didn't
because
get an A. You weren't
you
in the.
used the word phallic and you talked about a female hero. Of course, you're gonna get an A on a postmoderns class. Are you? Is a car phallic because it has like an antenna and an
It's a
antenna is
sword.
phallic?
It's a sword phallic.
The handle of the sword is phallic because it is a cylinder.
Oh my fucking god! Oh my fucking
A
god! Yeah,
rapier
yeah.
is
No,
properly
no.
phallic.
Dude, I'm not.
A
Dude,
rapier
it's
is
a.
phallic because it's like a cylinder on the
Oh,
bladed
Neo,
part.
Neo, Neo, Neo. It's a
But
dick
like
phallic. It's a dick phallic?
A,
No,
di-
not all dicks look like that, huh? So it's not phallic, is it?
a dick is phallic, yes, Gagger. Is a clitoris phallic, Gagger? Because it's
Yes,
part. Okay, is a vagina phallic
yes,
because it has a clitoris and the clitoris is
dude,
phallic?
dude. I have sex with sissies all the time, and
Huh?
they refer to the dick as a clit, so I
Yeah.
win.
Okay. You win that, but you don't win this argument here because you're just
Yes,
telling me that a vagina is phallic because it has a phallic part.
dude. I'm not that part. I wasn't always being serious.
I
But a
know, but
revolver is phallic. But we can get into it at another time. But it is
I,
phallic. I don't know. Like if you're not gonna grab me that one, I'm like, oh, is he arguing for arguing's sake here?
I am
So let me just
not.
ask you
I am
straight.
telling you that
Okay,
half of
but
it is phallic, the
to
other half
you,
is not phallic, obviously.
then I can say the same thing about a sword, right?
It like not all swords are the same. Like I said, a rapier probably is phallic, but then is like a great sword phallic? It literally is like a triangle on the top of a fucking pommel. The pommel is
So if
phallic,
I,
the sword is not.
sure, but do you understand that most? Just so I'm not saying that you have to. What is it like? Adhere to what's like what most people say. I'm not saying that obviously, but do you recognize that most people will probably go, "Yeah, dude, a revolver is phallic."
No, I don't think so at all.
You don't think so at all. Okay,
No.
I think that's
I
the issue
think you've
because
talked
every
with
time I bring this up,
too many postmodernists who
no,
just
I
try
brought this up with
to
friends who are not postmodernist, man,
project this
and they
notion that
no, I brought this up with people who
penises
are
are
not
everywhere
postmodernist.
and oh, Western society is
I don't know what people are like in
phallocentric.
Brazil. Dude, I don't know what people are like in Brazil, if all of them are fucking postmodernists or something, but when I bring this up to my friends who are like, very few of them are postmodernists, they're like, yeah, sure. That's what they
Yeah,
say.
yeah, I disagree. What can I say?
But,
It's wrong.
dude,
Like a
no, I
revolver
think,
does not look like a penis at all. A barrel looks
dude,
like a penis, but that's a part of the revolver. It's not
I
even
think,
more than half.
I think the takeaway here is that you need to get the fuck out of Brazil
I think the
from the
takeaway here is
postmodernists.
that you should get your dick checked if it looks like a revolver.
Dude, this is just like I can't like I'm actually surprised that you believe that. But hey, man, if you don't believe a dick is phallic,
Yeah, I
a dick is
don't.
phallic. Sorry, well,
I
a
don't.
revolver. I mean, a revolver is
I
phallic.
feel like your
You
teachers
don't? Okay,
and
fine.
by consequence you have read too much Freud and too much Derrida. That's just what I have to say about that. Because
I never read either.
you're
I
seeing
never read
dicks.
either.
Yeah, I mean, if you've read it, then maybe you would be able to counter your own perception, but you're not. You're just uh, absorbing your environment, which is unfortunate because then you think that everyone is like you. Yeah, a revolver is phallic. It's not.
I mean, here's the thing. The problem then is that because when I asked you, hey, is a sword phallic? Then you
Yeah.
said, oh, actually, it depends on the sword. La 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 la. Then it's like, is anything phallic at that point?
Yes.
Except a dick and a dildo. That are those the only things phallic in existence.
Anything that
Like,
is roughly
of course you didn't believe that.
cylindrical, anything that is roughly cylindrical is phallic.
Okay, so if I take a cylinder and then bend it into a circle, is that phallic?
No, because then you
Exactly.
remove the shape.
There you go. There you go. There you go. That's what I
Why?
mean, man. Like,
How?
but I mean,
What? What are you talking about?
but you said anything that's roughly cylindrical, anything that's cylindrical or roughly cylindrical, that's phallic. And then I
If you
said,
make
what
it
if I
into a
bend it?
circle, it's no longer a cylinder.
Okay, a sword, but then I can just go, might as well with a sword, right? Then I
Yeah?
could say, hey, not all swords are 90 degrees. They're kind of bent. Are you going to be like, no, that's actually not, is that not phallic anymore? How about if a cock is erect or not erect? If it's like not erect, is it not phallic anymore?
Why are you
Like,
talking about this? Obviously, it's still phallic. Like, the definition of phallic is cylindrical like, right?
Kinesin.
I'm gonna do it as well.
I mean, I get so many fucking studies
Oh,
talking about that. But okay.
I thought you were literally searching phallic meaning on Google, which is what I did.
Wait,
Uh,
what did you say? What did you say? I did. What did you Google?
Phallic meaning, because we're talking about the
Phallic.
definition of phallic. Yeah.
No, I googled are guns phallic, and I got 50,000 fucking essays about yes, they are sort of.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You're talking about a postmodern thing. Of course, you're gonna find a
No,
bunch of
it's not.
people.
Okay, so all my friends are postmodernists. Like even the guy who fucking posts on 4chan and is a sort of a racist. That
You
guy
know
is a
that?
postmodernist.
Do you think that postmodernists are only leftist,
Okay, so if you think
or do
a
you think
gun
that
is not
postmodernists
phallic,
don't post on 4chan?
dude, are you under the impression that anyone who thinks a gun is phallic is a postmodernist? You don't believe that, right?
No, what I'm saying is that people who think that way have been so deeply influenced by postmodernism that
Okay,
they can't
okay.
see otherwise.
Oh my fucking god, this is so. I can't. Listen, if you want to believe that gun is not phallic, go for it.
Yeah,
I
but
believe they
it's
are.
not a belief. It's not.
No, I can say the same thing to you. That's the
Okay,
thing.
that's fine.
Yeah, sure.
By the way, the definition is relating to or resembling a phallus or erect penis. So apparently the phallus is the erect penis, so your, flaccid dick thing isn't
Yeah, I
relevant.
could be wrong about that point. I could be wrong about that point,
But
sure.
yeah,
But that wasn't even my question. I asked you, does it matter if it's erect or not? That's what I asked.
yeah, but uh, I don't care.
And I will know. And I will know.
The thing is that the problem with this notion of, oh, this object is phallic is that it's always used in some retarded projection from postmodernists, right? It's like, oh, they're
And what,
compensating for something. That's why, oh, man loves swords, or oh, man love this. Oh, men love their guns because they're phallic. It's like, it is
and what
so
was the
retarded.
class I was taking? And what was the class I was taking?
I don't care. Literature?
Postmodernist literature was the class I was in. So obviously, yes, I will talk about that.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm not blaming you for currying favor with your teachers.
That's the thing.
What is the
But
thing?
no, no, the fee. It's just like how to say like.
You shouldn't be going around thinking that it's normal, though. Like, that's, just what everyone thinks.
I mean, with that, or like, I mean, if you want to make the argument that everyone in different environments are different, sure, I agree. I'm just saying that most people I've met would agree with me
I
that
feel
a
like
gun is phallic.
that's a very troublesome sign for Sweden. That's all I can think of. Because, if
I
literally
live,
everyone who
dude.
you've
I
met
live in Sweden, Australia,
is.
England, America.
Have you lived in America, actually?
Yes,
I didn't know. Huh.
yeah.
When did you live in America?
Just after Trump won, actually, it was kind of funny.
Huh. Did people in America think that guns are phallic?
I mean, when I brought it up to them when I was writing my essay, no one said found it weird. No.
In America? You were writing an essay
Yes,
about this?
in America, yes. I studied, as I said, I studied creative writing. This is what in at university.
So, this is what you do, right? You go to every country and you write essays about guns being phallic?
No, I would actually bring it up with my friends, and I have friends from around the globe.
Why is
Or I
this
have friends. There.
such a hot topic for you?
I can say the same thing about you. You've been the one been debating it for 20 minutes because you got upset because I didn't. Oh, sorry, that's wrong of me to say.
It's more
Because you
like
didn't agree
five
with me that.
minutes. But yes, I mean,
Oh,
I'm
that's true.
debating it because I think it's funny, but also,
Yeah.
and also because, what else are you going to talk about? It's like whenever we have a disagreement, inevitably it goes on long.
Yes,
But
that's true. Yeah,
I haven't ever talked about anyone about guns being phallic before. So, I'm just surprised that that's your go-to topic because it doesn't seem to me to be like, casual conversation.
no, this is what it was about. Like, it was more like, hey, what are you doing now in uni? And then I would tell them, yeah, I'm writing this essay. and it's going to be really easy to do because it's such an obvious symbol. And everyone was like, yeah, I agree, it's an obvious symbol. That's sort of the feeling I got. But who knows, as I said, if I go to Brazil, maybe everyone is going to look at me like I'm a fucking retard.
I
And I mean,
think
okay,
if
sure, I grant them
I
that.
asked the same people that you did, and I didn't lead with I'm doing an essay on this, they might have not said that guns are phallic, actually. Do you catch my drift?
Okay, I don't know. I don't know where you're going with that. But what I do know is that I
I
need to
think
go.
it's possible that they were trying to be nice, is what I'm saying.
Okay, are you trying to gaslight me now, Neil?
No, I'm saying that if your experience is that everyone is saying something that I don't think is true, it's possible that the reason they're saying is this is not because they believe it, but because they're trying to be nice, because you're literally spending hours on it. And if someone is spending hours on something, you don't go, oh, that's shit. Like, that makes no sense at all, right? You encourage them and you say, yeah, no, that you're probably right, even if you don't think so, right?
Or it could be that you're just very stubborn of not realizing that guns are clearly a very phallic symbol.
Do you, like, shoot your sperm at people? Like, I'm trying to see the correlation. Like, what is
Yeah,
the.
I shoot my sperm at your mom's face all the time.
Yeah, like, I can tell that you're mad now, but it,
It was right. It was right there.
I
It
can
was right there.
also
You asked
understand
me,
that
dude. You
you're
asked.
not really answering, so I can only think that you don't have an answer, right?
Dude, it was right there. It was right there. It was right there.
I'm not. I'm not.
It was like,
I haven't. I
dude. It was
haven't.
like my cousin.
I haven't
Okay,
even
go ahead,
mentioned
go
it. So
ahead.
why are you, like, repeating yourself again?
Dude, it was like when my
Yeah,
cousin was
no.
here. Yes,
Why are you talking about it still?
okay, go on then. I thought you
Yeah.
were upset for real, but
No,
I
I'm
don't know.
not. I'm talking. I'm asking. Do you actually have an answer? What is the relationship between a dick and a gun
It,
exactly? And
a
stop
gun
saying,
and a
"Oh, everyone
phallus.
thinks so." And I mean,
Okay,
I'm
give me a
asking you,
second.
what is it?
Give me 1 second.
Why?
Sorry. No. What is? I had this thing up on screen, Argon's phallic, and then when I pressed images, I got fucking yeah. You know what I got? Like I got fucking dildos rebuilt as guns, which was pretty based. But anyway, it's the shape of it.
Okay,
That's
so
the short answer.
how is a dick and a gun similarly shaped if you discount the barrel? They're not, right? Do we at least
But
agree on
but
that?
the barrel is part of the gun, though.
Yes, it
What are you
is.
talking about?
Yes, it
Yeah.
is. And the antenna is phallic shaped, but the car is not phallic. Do we agree on that as well?
Give me a second. There's one thing here because barrel. Here's the thing because the gun synonyms and exact that's what you talk. They talk. Okay, now I see what you mean. I not see what you mean. I don't agree with you, but I know what you mean now. But that's not the same thing. The barrel is like integral to the fucking gun. An antenna is not.
Yeah, but, like, you can't demand that I come up with an example which is similar to a gun but is not phallic on the fly. I thought of the antenna because it is. Like, it came to
But do you
me.
have do you have any other example?
I'm not sure. I would have to think about it.
Yeah, sure. Because that's good. Because I actually, it was an interesting conversation.
Okay,
Uh,
but you're not gonna answer it then.
well, I did like
What?
mainly like the shape, as I said, and mainly the barrel
So
that
the
looks
barrel
cylindrical.
is phallic. The gun is not. Can we agree on that?
But the barrel is like the biggest part of the gun. That's like me saying, hey, if you take the sword example, like, hey, is a sword phallic? And you say, well, the blade is. And it's like, and the handle is, but the rest of it isn't. Well, if you remove it, then it's not a sword anymore.
Sure. That's not what I'm saying though. I'm saying that, like, if you cut a dick in half, it's no longer phallic, right?
Exactly, right. So what
Yeah.
was the point of your point?
And so if you add something to it, it's also, like, no longer phallic because it's not the same shape
Yeah,
anymore.
but okay, it's getting really late, and I need to actually work now. So now I've answered your question, right? The
You
shape
haven't.
of the gun. Yes, I said the shape of the gun. You asked why is it phallic? I said the shape of the gun. Right? That's what I said. And then he said, what specifically? And I said, the barrel.
I
Right?
didn't say what specifically. I said without the barrel, it's not phallic anymore, right? And then you said,
Yes, I
yeah, but the
agree.
barrel is
Yes, I
the
agree.
biggest part of the gun. And then we
Yes, I agree.
got back and forth about this.
Yeah, so I agree. Without the barrel, sure, it doesn't look like it's not phallic anymore. Then it's just a handle. I agree. I completely
Yes.
agree.
Okay.
Completely.
Okay. Great.
Now, before that was an interesting stream. I liked it. It was fun.
Great.
Uh, yeah, no, no, no. The thing though that I wanted to say is that it was an interesting tangent. This is gonna get us many, many views.
You
But
think so?
before, yeah, no, I don't know. I need to put it out first, right?
Mm.
But before we close the call, can you just close the stream because I wanted to talk to you about D&D?
Yeah, sure. Give me a second.
Yeah,
Yeah, I should
yeah.
also